Hi, it's Jean at Captain Stitches, and as promised, I'm going to try and videotape a tour of my stitching cottage. So I'm standing at the door right now, and I'm going to try and give you a view and a tour of what is my working area in my stitching cottage. So let me bring you down from there and show you as you enter the door. We come first to the central location of my Quilter's Dream cabinet, on which side I do my typical office type work, planning, scheduling, that type of thing. And then, of course, on the other side, you will see is my sewing machine. We'll get over on that side in a little bit. But that's the central area and where most everything goes on. To my right, as you enter the door, let me back up. Sorry, I hope I'm not making you dizzy, but let me back up. And there is a huge cabinet right inside the door that those quilts are hanging on. Those are the doors. And in there is storage of my pearl cotton threads, projects, wool projects mainly that I'm working on, that type of thing. And on the one side is like my light box, a die cut machine, that type of thing that is stored in there. Some of the quilts that are to be hand quilted are stored in there, that type of thing. Overhead, on top of it, in all those containers, are UFOs, all labeled and numbered in my project inventory. So those are things to be done. And you can see part of the wall there as I scan. That is an 18-foot wall, and that is my wall of fabric. And on top of there, and all the pink containers and the other containers that you see are also UFO works in projects, all numbered, labeled, and in the project inventory. But that goes from the floor, you can't see behind the desk, but from the floor all the way up to where the storage loft is overhead, which there used to be a lot of projects up there, but when I was having hip replacement surgery, I decided that the majority of that stuff needed to come down because I didn't know if I'd be able to get up there and get it again. So there's batting stored up there, a few items that I know I'm not going to be using for quite a while, but that is storage if I need it. And we will come around to this side first before we go on the other. The chair in the corner. The chair in the corner there is where I sit to do handwork or relax with looking through quilting books, patterns, that type of thing. So it's in the corner so I can be comfy when I want to. And of course I have my quilt diva crown above the chair. One of the nicknames I've been given. And this area right here that you see is an old kitchen island that I refurbished to be my cutting surface with the pegboard above it that holds all my rulers and the things that I typically use when I'm using that surface. We'll scoot right around here so you can see where we did come in. That's my little temporary tray there that you saw that holds items out of the way. There is the entrance to the cottage. So as you can see, there's a pink wall there. The yellow door, which we have a yellow wall on the other side, we'll see eventually. And you saw the turquoise wall. That is where my cutting area is. But this is the side that I do all the sewing and everything. My laptop moves from side to side as I need it, whether I'm being in the stitching room or in a Zoom meeting and need to show the sewing machine at the same time, it comes over to the sewing side. Otherwise, it's over on the working side normally. But the big vase that you see there with all the beautiful flowers in it, that is one of the first items that came into the cottage when it was being built. It sat in the corner all by itself because I knew that I was going to use turquoise as one of the colors in here. And I was at Hobby Lobby and found that great big huge turquoise flower that is standing up out of there, and thus found the vase, and that became one of the very first items that I moved out to the cottage. But there you can again see the wall of fabric. That's fabric that is just stashed, that has no particular purpose there. And I have some of the items that I use for most of my hand stitching close by the chair there, so that it's in handy reach. But now we'll try to slowly turn around. And there we have an couple old antique ladders that I display some quilts that are done, some quilt tops that aren't done yet, but they are arranged there. In the corner over there, you see the rolls of batting and stuff that I use on the long arm. Stencils that I use for hand quilting are all hanging on the shelf there in order. But now we're going to span around, and you will see there is where the long arm is, with a project currently on that. Below, there's drawers underneath there and storage that I use. I think you can hear my little dog whining. I think she wants out the door, which when we go back over that way, I might have to let her out, or we're going to continue to hear her. She's somewhere on the floor. I can't see her right now, but that is the long arm. And then the wall that you're seeing behind the long arm, of course, our pantographs are the rolls that you see stored up on the top there. All my pattern books that are in order by designer, theme, that type of thing. All the turquoise, pink, and yellow cubbies that you see, those are all projects that have all their patterns, that have all the fabric and everything with them ready to be pieced, quilted, that type of thing. But it also goes all the way down to the floor behind there. I normally don't show what's overhead, but what used to be in all these cubbies, I used to have the quilting side and the crocheting side. I haven't been doing a lot of crocheting lately, so the storage loft that is up above there, I have to back up a little, better look behind me. That is all my yarn storage, all above there, and that actually goes 3 stacks back. So you can't see it all, you're just seeing the part that's in the front. It's stacked 3 stacks long. A lot of yarn, but that's all stored up there. And then as we go over into the other corner, you can see I have a TV. I rarely have it on out here. I'm just not a big TV watcher, but I do have it if I need it. But that corner where the little desk there is actually a desk that my grandfather made for me. He made all of his grandchildren a desk for their 12th birthday. So I still have that, and that desk is used in the corner. That is my scrapbooking, junk journaling, card making, stamping area is what is all stored there and used. And then, of course, which I just moved and set that hand quilting project there and forgot that I sat it there. Doesn't normally sit there, which that is my, the dresser has the cover on it, and that is my pressing station. And then, of course, the air conditioning for, it gets a little warm out here in the wintertime, so we do have a window air conditioning unit. I think you saw when I was spanning around, I have, which there's another one over there for heat. It's just the space thermostatically controlled heaters in here. But that is the pressing station. Stored in the dresser below, the top 2 left drawers are all fat quarters. The drawer below that is some fusible interfacing and that type of thing. The other drawer is tapes, glues, miscellaneous items like that are stored over there. It's all storage. But then you also see the area right there. In the drawers are, well, of course, every place has to have one of them is a junk drawer. The other drawer holds needles, miscellaneous items that aren't used as frequently in that one top drawer. But the two drawers, cabinets underneath, are all projects that have all the fabric with them waiting to be made. And then, as you see, that is my beverage station. Have coffee, tea, that type of thing, ready for when I have guests in the cottage. There's always beverages available for them if they wish to have anything and everything. And just some decorations that, of course, the plastic containers that are there are also works in project, UFOs, whatever you want to refer to them as, but they are our projects that are waiting to be done. The quilt up there that you see, that is actually of my mother. It's a quilting process that I did, and that was taken from a photo of my mother and then made into a quilt. So that's what you're seeing there. And of course, the outside. But I'm trying to think what we may have missed. We didn't go over and around. See, this is the, like I say, the pressing station. I have a little thing there that holds all the necessities for when you're quilting. I have my little mini Oliso iron hung up there. And of course, you're probably wondering where the regular iron is. Oh, we will show you. It is hidden behind the little quilt there because I just don't like looking at it when it's not in use. So we disguise it with a little quilt in front of it when it's not in use. There again is the desk used for the scrapbooking, card making, all that type of thing in there. And which more of that. Down there, those are 2 wool projects and the little things there that I take back and forth because it's handwork, and I sometimes will go and sit inside and work on some of it, so it's handy to just pick up and take with me when I want to go out there. But this is what you see behind the long arm, which I had the padding, so it's easy. But I make use of all area for storage, so all the space that's under the long arm is used for storage. And then there again, you'll see the batting and that type of thing. But that is basically the Stitching Cottage, where I spend an average, try not to make you dizzy, where I spend an average of 12 hours a day out here. Of course, going in, checking on my husband and that type of thing, but it is my happy place. I like that it's bright and lots of light, which there are. Overhead, we have 2 ceiling fans, so it's always plenty of light out here, and the other lighting as well. But I hope you have enjoyed this little tour of my stitching cottage, quilting cottage, craft cottage. Just don't call it a she shed. I don't like that term because it's not a shed. If you saw it, you would realize it looks nothing like a shed on the outside whatsoever. So it is my stitching cottage, and I love it. It was actually built by the Amish here in Ohio. So thank you very much. I'm sorry that you can't see me, can only hear my voice at this time, but I hope you have enjoyed this little tour, and now you know where I work and how everything is set up when you see me. And if you ever get an opportunity to be in the area, I would very much welcome you to come and visit me in the Stitching Cottage. So thanks for coming. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll see you soon. And remember, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye.